are less than fair value, for example, 9,000, recognise the loss of 1 in profit and loss account if a bad bargain, if it's a bad bargain, you've sold it because you've been bullied, you're desperate for cash, yeah? If the low proceeds relates to low rentals, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. So if we sell it for less, and then when we lease it back, we're leasing it back for less, therefore the 1,000 is a prepayment, therefore the 1,000 is accounted for as a prepayment. The 1,000 is accounted for as a prepayment and spread over the lease term. And spread over the lease term. So you would physically receive 9. You are always going to be de-recognizing your asset, and the debit is a prepaid expense of 1 if it relates to low rentals. If it relates to low rentals. If it relates to a bad bargain, charge it to P&L. So a little bit of judgment is required, but one has to read the question. So we're looking here at, if the low proceeds is because of the low rentals, the 1,000 is accounted for as a prepaid expense. So you would then look to spread that over the lease term, debit cash 9, get rid of the asset. Of course you're getting rid of the asset, debit the prepaid expense. If you're then going to have an operating lease for 2 years, there'll be an extra 500 expense going through for each year of the next 2 years. I am still considering operating leasebacks. And there's another relationship that we could have, there's another twist that we could have with our sale and operating leaseback. And the twist is the proceeds could be more than the fair value. So I have an asset which is worth 12. It is worth 12, it is worth 12, and it is worth 12, but I sell it for 20. Somebody gives me 20. I then enter into an operating leaseback where I'm paying them money for the next few years for the right to use the asset. So that is a slightly bizarre situation. So, if the proceeds are greater than fair value, if the proceeds are greater than fair value, so we're saying the proceeds are 20, we're saying the proceeds are 20, we're saying the carrying value is 10, we're saying the fair value is 12, and we're saying it is an operating leaseback. Now, in about 1 minute's time, I will tell you the answer. But I'd sort of rather prefer it if you told me. I have an asset which is worth 12. It is worth 12, and it is worth 12. I'm selling it for 20. Yeah, fantastic. That's really great. I'm selling it for 20. I get 8 more than it's worth, and then I engage in a contractual arrangement where I am paying that person money for the right to use the asset. What does the 8,000 really, truthfully, honestly, in substance represent? Correct. It's a loan. You can't sell an asset for more than it's worth. By definition, fair value is market value. So the nature of the extra 8,000 is not a gift. You have contracted to make payments back to this person. So the lease rental payments will be partly split as a rental payment expense, and partly it'll be the repayment of the 8,000 loan. The extra proceeds over and above the fair value is a loan, is a liability, is a creditor. So the profit is restricted to the fair value less carrying value. So the profit on disposal, restricted. The profit on disposal restricted to fair value minus carrying value. The excess over the fair value is a loan. The excess over the fair value is a loan which is discharged from the lease rental payments, Nobody buys an asset from you for more than it's worth. That's why the leaseback arrangement is in substance partly the repayment of the loan. So to recap, I've debited cash, thank you very much. Lots of money has come in. It's an operating leaseback, so the asset is disappearing from the books. The risks and rewards are not being reacquired, so we de-recognise the asset. We are limited in the amount that we can recognise the profit for. The profit is only 2, because the fair value is 10, the fair value is 12, the carrying value is 10, therefore the profit is only 2. And this means your excess of the proceeds over the fair value. Why has somebody given you that extra money? It's not a profit, it's not a gain, yeah? It's a loan. Tell the truth. Economic reality. Substance over form. You receive money and you have a contract to give them money back again. That's a loan. That's a liability. I'm happy with sale and leaseback arrangements. Yeah, going? Yeah, please.
Quite understand what it's doing.
It's a loan because I'm looking at the truth. It's a loan because I'm examining the economic reality of what's happening. We have to accept, in the first place, that the asset is worth 12. So if the asset is worth 12, you're only able to sell it for 12. So it then begs the question, why does somebody give you the extra 8? Now, it's not a gift. The reason they have paid you an extra 8,000 is because you have simultaneously contracted to make payments to them in the next few years, because it's an operating leaseback. So the rental payments that you will be paying back to them in the next few years will be satisfying this loan, discharging the loan. Yeah? So it's about not seeing what the law is saying, because the law doesn't use the word loan, but the truth is, and the economic reality is, it is a loan. Yeah? It's the logical explanation as to why somebody gives you the extra 8 when you are also contracting to pay them money. Because the contracting to pay them the money means that they will get their aid back. You are repaying back that loan. If there was no leaseback arrangement, maybe you've just got lucky. If you sell an asset for 20, and that's it, it's a clean sale, and there's no other transaction with the company, then you've just made a big profit. But if you're leasing it back, you are making payments to them, and those payments are then therefore are part of your loan.
So this transaction is at the beginning, right? Not on the end date.
I'm doing this at a moment in time. So that the day that you do the sale, yeah, is when you do the lease back, and so yeah, that's.
Recorded at the ACCA P2 yet, right?
Well, we haven't. Yeah, I mean, you would if you wanted to take the transaction forward 12 months. Then taking the transaction forward 12 months, you've got a profit. Taking forward the transaction 12 months, that is a loan that will go up with interest and down through payment. There'll also be a rental expense.